Hello, welcome, Cabbage here. In Magic the Gathering, I wanted to show you my historic artifact deck. This is a work in progress, and I'm thinking of actually making a big change. But I'll show you what I've been doing here. I made a video previously about one kind of test run of it, but here I'll talk about the actual cards. But first, let's talk about the lands, actually. These are kind of important. Let's see, we got some red and white mana. Here I got Buried Ruin. I want a lot of colorless mana for this deck. This will make more sense when we look at the artifacts. But this one, I can get an artifact back from my graveyard if I sacrifice this. In the later part of the game, if I reach a certain amount of lands, it's not going to be very important if I sacrifice a few, so that's kind of cool. Next is Cascading Cataracts. The most important thing about this is that it is indestructible, so yeah, it can't be destroyed by destroy all land spells. Cryptic Caves, I'm wondering if I want to play this, but I can also sacrifice this to draw cards. One thing I want to do with this deck is kind of get through it as quick as possible, get the cards that I want. And Ghost Quarter. I like this a little bit better than the Field of Ruin, I think it is, because this can destroy any land, and then I don't have really any basic lands in my deck, so I wouldn't miss out by not being able to grab it for me. Okay, Roadside Reliquary. This could be good again for drawing cards, and then I do have artifacts and enchantments in my deck, so I could possibly draw 2 cards if I sacrifice this. Alright, Sun-Scorched Desert. This will deal damage when it comes into play. And I kind of have lands coming in and out of play a lot with this deck. Unclaimed Territory. I only have creatures that are humans, so I could use this to cast them. And this would be helpful because I don't have a lot of colored mana coming from my lands. And then finally, Zalfirin Void. This can help me scry, help me pick the cards that I want. I'm thinking of cutting these cards, actually, from the deck. Alright, and then I guess we can go from the right. Alright, but here is a saga that will destroy all lands. And so yeah, one of the big kind of turning points of my deck is to destroy all the lands, maybe block the opponent from doing anything more. And then I have those indestructible lands, so I can keep those. And then we can see here, each player returns 2 cards from their graveyard to the field. I can get cards back, and then maybe have more lands, since again I have those indestructible ones. And then after I use that, I want to use Tormod's Crypt on the opponent's graveyard to get rid of all of their lands. And so when parts 2 and 3 of this come around, they're not going to have any lands to grab, so they'll be at 0, I'll be at potentially 5, or more if I'm playing lands on my turn. And that's pretty discouraging for the opponent. They often quit if I can get off that combo. Here, Fiery Emancipation. This will help me, this is kind of my win con, but yeah, if I can do 3 times the damage. This will help also with the deserts that we saw. When they come into play, they will do damage, and then if I'm destroying these lands and then bringing them back with that saga, they'll do 3 times the damage with the Fiery Emancipation out. Alright, Chromatic Orrery. I love saying that. But yeah, this will just get me lots of mana, but I actually also play it to draw more cards if I don't have anything else to do. But yeah, being able to spend mana as if it were any mana color, that will help me play the red and white spells, even if I only have colorless mana. Okay, Vanquish the Horde, that is a sweeper. I'm not going to be playing a lot of characters or units, creatures, so I'll be able to clear the field, buy myself some time. By Invitation Only, that's another sweeper, and then Doomscar, that's another sweeper. I'm not super focused on the types of sweepers that I use. I'm just using what I have without needing to use the rare wildcards. And Forsaken Monument. I really want to get this out turn 5. This will help me get even more colorless mana, and then hopefully lead me into playing the Chromatic Orrery. If I can get this out turn 6, that's fine. Also, it will give me a little bit of life every time I cast a colorless spell, which can help me because maybe I have no creatures and they're hitting me with guys. Oh, and also, colorless creatures I control get +2/+2. I don't have any creatures, but we'll see that that comes in handy soon. Here we have Karn, the Great Creator. This is my one Planeswalker. He shuts down the artifacts of the opponent. I'm not really worried about that, but if it does work, that's a nice bonus. The minus skill, this will help me go to my, my wish list and then grab an artifact from there. And I'll show you my wish list. So yeah, I have another Crypt, just in case I don't pull it naturally. Let's see, I have more Forsaken Monuments in case I don't pull it naturally. More Chromatic Orreries in case I don't pull it naturally. And then I have a couple Crucible of Worlds in case I want to play lands from my graveyard. This is maybe the least necessary of the artifacts to play, but you know, if I have everything else and I got nothing else to do with Karn, I can grab that, play the lands from the graveyard, and then I can sacrifice lands and bring them back, and yeah, it's very cool. And then he has a plus skill as well, and that might be another win condition for me. I can turn my artifacts into creatures based on their cost. That's their power and toughness. But if I also have the Forsaken Monument, they get +2/+2. And so like if I activate the Forsaken Monument, he'll become a 7/7. If I activate the Orrery, he'll become a 9/9. So yeah, that can do some damage. Okay, and then I have some mana rocks. I want all the ones that can create mana of any color and also draw me cards. So this one I could sacrifice to draw cards, and then I could sacrifice that land in order to get back this artifact, sacrifice it again, draw more cards. Network Terminal, this is a brand new card from Kamigawa. This one will let me draw and then discard. This will be cheaper to cast. Also, I don't need to discard the artifact, so that could be good or better. And then the Celestis to help me cycle through. And then life gain as well, that can be helpful. Okay, then here, these are the only creatures that I have. Both of them red, both of them humans. And whenever an artifact enters play, it will do a damage to the opponent, and then that will do ×3 if I have Fire Emancipation out, or ×9 if I have 2 of them out. And then Thermo Alchemist, same with him. I can just do a damage per turn, or 3 damage or 9 damage, depending on how many of those enchantments I have. Alright, and then end the festivities. This is cool because it hits creatures and planeswalkers and opponents. I don't know if there's any other super cheap fire spell that does that. But yeah, this will be multiplied by 3 or 9 if I have more of the Fire Emancipations out. But the big change that I am thinking of making to this deck is to get rid of all of the fire cards, because I very rarely win games on damage. I usually win it by the opponent quitting because I kill all their lands, kill all the creatures, or I am attacking with my big buff artifact creatures. So yeah, maybe I'll try another version without the red, see how that goes. Maybe I'll do another video of that later. Okay, but here, let's have a look at a win that I got basically without the red cards. And then I saw this deck. I played against it sometime last year and was really impressed. They beat me with damage, actually, with the Fire Emancipation out. But in my testing, I found that that way to win is pretty inconsistent. Alright, that is a fine opening hand. I definitely want a land drop the first 5 turns. If I can get to 5, I can pretty much cast Karn. I can pretty much grab the Forsaken Monument. If I miss a land drop, I am very likely to retire. Or if they play a deck that is just too fast, like werewolves or goblins or rats or something, then I'll just quit there too. Oh, there goes my red guy, no big deal. And then I like to save the scry lands for last, just so I can cast it as the last land from my hand, so that I can search for another land. And we did find it, so we'll leave it there. Oh, they're playing temples. And maybe some mill. Okay, missed the land drop. That's depressing, but let's push on. We'll cast the Mana Rock, and then next turn we can cast Karn, and then grab the Forsaken Monument. But yeah, in my hand I have a Sweeper, I have a Land Sweeper, and then I got the Chromatic Orrery. So yeah, if I can keep that Orrery, I don't need to grab that with Karn. And then you probably noticed, but I have kind of like half and half. The main artifacts, I have 1 or 2 copies in my actual deck. And then I have 1 or 2 copies in the wish list, the sideboard. Just so I can hedge my bets. Like, just in case I'm going against like a mill deck or something and I lose all of my Karns, I lose access to the wish list. I can maybe pull the cards from my deck instead. Okay, another land, that's good. Put that down, we'll put down Karn. And I've kind of fallen in love with Karn because his voice acting is so ridiculous.
I will not lose another friend.
Every time he speaks, I'm like, calm down, guy. Well, I'll grab the Crypt. Because I have the Sweeper in my hand, and I should be able to play that next turn. If I can destroy the lands before the opponent really gets their deck going, that'll be a really big help to me. I don't usually grab the Tormod's Crypt because I have so many copies in my main deck. I can usually grab it pretty early, and it seems like the hand smoother kind of favors me getting that free card. But once in a while I do need to grab it with Karn, so that's why I have 1 copy in the wish list. Alright, here, let's destroy all the lands. Alright, let's exile the graveyard there. And with Karn, we can grab the monument this time. If I can grab 1 artifact with Karn, I'm happy. If I can grab 2, that's a special bonus. But yeah, Karn is also very attractive as a damage magnet. He can save me some damage, so yeah. He's fulfilling multiple roles. Okay, part 2 of the saga activates. I can grab some lands. If I had Fire Emancipation out, that would do 3 damage from the desert instead. Alright, but I'll put out the Celestis. I don't really aim to activate it, just if it does activate, that's a nice bonus. Get me some life. I can discard one of the monuments that I don't need. Grab 2 more lands, and they still have 0. Alright, we'll use a Sweeper. Get rid of their guys. They still have that Shrine out, though, that can damage me, though. So I'm on a little bit of a clock. Alright, they can't cast anything. That's great. Okay, we'll play the Monument first, and then we'll play the Crypt, so we can get a little bit of life there. I like the cards in my hand, so we will not activate that, though. We'll still get the life, however. Okay, another Karn. We can save it, though. We'll put out the Orrery first. Get more life. Now I have plenty of mana. Let's put down Karn. Get more life. Grab another artifact. We'll grab the one that I don't have out, which is the Crucible of Worlds. And now I can start casting lands from my graveyard. Get more life. Alrighty. We'll put down the Cryptic Caves in order to maybe get some more cards. Nope, and there they go. And then I had another one of the sagas in my hand, so if they got to 2 or maybe 3 lands, I could cast it again, use another crypt to exile their graveyard again. And yeah, they would be totally demoralized by that point, so I would win, probably. Okay, that's my deck. I am very happy with it. It's a lot of fun. I might want to try a version without any red cards. I think it would be just fine, actually. Maybe I'll make a video about that later. Alright, thanks for watching, and we'll see you again. Take care.